Hey everybody, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. And today we're talking about something kind of different, something you might have not suspected, but we're talking about why Northwest Arkansas has some of the best farm-to-table restaurants and is honestly one of the best farm-to-table places in all of America. So let's talk about that. But before we begin, if you could like this video down there, down there, and also subscribe, that would make the world of difference. I try to produce as much content as humanly possible about Northwest Arkansas. Also, if you are thinking about moving down here or just checking out the whole area, I have a 3-day itinerary link below. So maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer. There's a 3-day itinerary link down below for you. So go ahead and download it. All right, so this is gonna be more of a chat with you necessarily than a list of things we're gonna talk about. So this all kind of started the last couple of years with the whole farm to table scene in Northwest Arkansas. One thing you should know about Northwest Arkansas is the fact that Northwest Arkansas is a very, very heavy agriculture state. Now, agriculture is bigger than just corn, soybeans, and wheat and cotton. It's farm, it's actual like chickens, cows, the whole shebang, agriculture in general. And so NWA specifically has a lot of agriculture around here. And so the last couple of years, specifically the last 5 years, or a little bit longer, there's been a lot of people moving to the area that have built farm-to-table restaurants right here in Northwest Arkansas. And some of them I've actually talked about on this channel, like Farmer's Table, obvious name, the Hive, which is located in Bentonville in like the actual like 21C hotel right down in downtown Bentonville. We have Conifer, which I've talked about on this channel as well. We have Heirloom, which is a great restaurant I've made a video specifically about, which is a fantastic restaurant. And also things like Prelude Breakfast Bar located right in Fayetteville. So there's a whole list of restaurants that are farm to table located right in Northwest Arkansas. And this what makes NWA a very unique area is the fact that there's so much agriculture on the outside of the city and there's so many restaurants inside the city, and so they can make this really interesting like whole ecosystem based on actually creating and cooking using material from the outside of Northwest Arkansas agriculture and actually just using it inside the restaurants here in NWA. And so it's kind of a unique area because a lot of bigger areas don't have this unique situation. Like if you go down to Austin, you can't really do a lot of agriculture down in Austin. Down in like Portland and some of the East Coast areas, you can, but it's kind of hard to like take the actual like material and agriculture and bring it on the inside of the cities because it's kind of a hike. And so Northwest Arkansas is kind of a unique area because it's not that far out. You don't have to go that far out to actually see agriculture itself. And so I'm making this video to talk about one main core thing, actually two main core things. The first main core thing is the fact that a lot of Northwest Arkansas restaurants are pushing towards farm to table. That's why there's big like farmers markets located right in Bentonville. But on top of that, there's a lot of farms and a network of farmers outside of NWA that restaurants work with, and they're trying to make consistent product in Northwest Arkansas versus having to outsource everywhere else. And so talking to the restaurant owners around the area, they are very adamant to say that they love using localized like agriculture because they know what they're going to get. Because if they have to, obviously use chickens from the area, they know the local farmers, they can go to the farm, they can see the produce, the actual animals themselves, and they know like these are animals that they are being treated fairly. These are animals that are being done well versus like a larger scale farm, so to speak. And so a lot of these restaurants are using networks of farmers to actually cook their own material versus, like outsourcing in big other farms in general. And so part of that first part is the fact that the Walton Family Foundation has a food initiative right in Northwest Arkansas that's helping cultivate more farmers and more agriculture so that Northwest Arkansas can use as much possible of its own agriculture to just be an example of how for other cities and areas to use their own ag versus necessarily outsourcing everywhere. And so it's really cool to see that the actual Walton Foundation really pushed this because a lot of areas don't do this kind of initiative in general. A lot of times, maybe city councils or something will kind of have initiatives here and there, but the big overarching Walton Foundation, plus other people as well, are making NWA kind of a hub for restaurants and other local places to use local ingredients. A great example is the Ozarks Co-op located right in Fayetteville. The Ozarks Co-op uses a lot of just locally sourced material versus outsourcing different places. So NWA is being kind of this breeding ground, this example, this plumb line, so to speak, of how to integrate restaurants, actual grocery stores, and farmers in the network and be able to sustain your own agriculture and food sources right locally versus outsourcing everywhere. Now, obviously, NWA has some benefits because we have Tyson here locally, and so a lot of the farmers are naturally set up for that. And so the ecosystem, the actual distribution, transportation in NWA is definitely geared towards that. So it definitely makes that process a lot easier. But then again, it is a good example of what other areas can do. They don't need to necessarily have a Tyson, but they can have something similar, and they can use that to catapult the area itself to something like NWA. Hey, before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're looking for homes to rent or for sale on like Realtor.com and also Zillow. Way too slow. And in this market, sometimes hours makes a difference. Instant Home Updates make sure that you get all those rentals or homes for sale in your email right away. So if you're looking to do any of those things, whether rent or buy, link below, there's something called Instant Home Updates. Go ahead and click on that, enter your information, and then I'll make sure to set that up for you right away so you don't miss anything that's on the market here in Northwest Arkansas. Also, if you're looking to keep up to date with all the cool things happening in Northwest Arkansas, for instance, a 45,000 square foot facility being built in Springdale, which we'll talk about in a second if you just hold on. If you want to keep up to date with all the cool things that are happening here, I have an email link below that I send out every single Friday. It kind of keeps up to date with all the cool things happening here. You might get a little fear of missing out, but I promise you it'll be a lot of fun, and it comes out every single Friday. And now let's talk about part two of this kind of farm to table restaurant network of farmers in the area. And that's the fact that there's a brand new building being built called the Market of the Ozarks, located right in Springdale. So earlier this year, there was a grant given to Springdale from the Walton Foundation, of course, and other people as well, that they're going to build a $31 million hub in Springdale, 45,000 square feet, basically a massive building for farmers and other people around the area to bring their produce and stuff into this hub versus restaurants and other people going to outsource all across the area. So obviously this makes a big difference for distribution and transportation because the farmers can bring stuff and sell it, actually have their own little stands all year long inside this actual building versus farmers markets and other things. So restaurants and other obviously restaurants and other people can go there and buy this stuff locally versus just, going to other places in the country and buying stuff out there. So this is a kind of a really interesting idea because rather than, trying to, initiate different farmers to grow different things in other areas, they're saying, hey, bring your stuff to this massive brand new building located right in Springdale. And Springdale is kind of like the center of all of NWA. So it makes perfect sense, obviously. And also Tyson's right next to Springdale as well. Obviously, it's in Springdale. And so it's really cool that the fact that the Walton Foundation is working with Springdale to build this massive building to bring more farmers locally produce stuff right in the area. So we don't have to go, so me and you can go in there and buy locally sourced stuff and restaurants and everything else versus having to travel to, a couple miles outside of town or different areas and try to source different things. We can just go right to the Ozark hub, essentially, right in Springdale. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you are thinking about moving down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itinerary link below. Maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer. I don't know. But there's a 3-day itinerary link down below for you. So go ahead and download it. Also, when you do come down here, I can give you the $10 tour. I can show you around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar will go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, let's see you in the next one.